Hi guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please do subscribe. Hi guys, how's it going? It's freezing cold here. I put the heating on for about 15-20 minutes while I snuggled up underneath a fleece blanket, and then I got up and bravely put my clothes on because it was absolutely freezing inside this flat. Looked outside and I'd left a piece of clothing on a dryer out there and it was completely frozen like cardboard. It's misty, it's foggy, it's freezing, and it's taking ages to heat up the flat. It's absolutely freezing cold, like Arctic conditions. And me myself, because we had that really hot summer, just can't get used to this at all. My hands and toes are frozen. Right, Alexa, what's the time, please? Alexa, what's the time?
The time is 8:39 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Sunday the 11th of December.
Alexa, what's the weather like in Rochester?
Right now in Rochester, England, it's -3 degrees Celsius with fog. Today's forecast has snow flurries, with a high of 1 degree and a low of -3 degrees.
So it's actually -3 and snow flurries are expected. Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
Why shouldn't you send a snowman a valentine? Because his heart will melt.
Oh, that's cute. So cute. Right, now we're going to go back to yesterday. Yesterday, I wasn't expecting to do anything or go anywhere, just stay indoors like I usually do. And most people are trying to keep warm. It is very brave going out there, how cold it is. And when I do go out, I'm wrapped up like a snowman myself, scarf, hat, gloves, a full jumper, t-shirt under jumper, maybe 1 or 2 pairs of socks underneath some warm shoes or boots. And I make sure Max has got his coat on. Yesterday afternoon I took Max out and he didn't want to walk around the field, so I picked him up. I actually picked him up. He was shivering underneath his coat, so I picked him up, held him. He's still got to go to the toilet because that's what dogs do, they go outside. So I picked him up and I just put him down and picked him up again. He just didn't want to walk. Quite variation to the summer when it was a different reason I was picking him up. He was too hot and he didn't want to walk. Now he's too cold. So I'm not taking him for such a long walk, just letting him relieve himself as much as he can and then come back. Maybe go out for shorter walks a few times a day. So there were builders about yesterday afternoon, but because they work till 2 on a Saturday, don't they? Somebody said to me their builders won't work when it's -3 degrees and below. They won't work. So I don't know what's going to happen Monday, but it's very cold out there. And these builders were on top of a very high crane. God knows if you're scared of heights. There was a couple of builders the other day on top of a really massive, tall crane. So I came back from taking Max for a walk, and I had a WhatsApp message later on from my son telling me that he was in Kent because he comes down from London. So he said he was in Kent. So I said, oh, okay. What do you want to do? Waited a while, and then later on he said he was at Costa's. He was inside Costa's, Rochester Riverside, where I was yesterday morning. He was sat down, wrapped up warm in a coat, and he had his beanie hat with him. Went inside the coffee shop, sat down and chatted with my son while he was on his phone. He'd been down Rochester High Street and he was filming down Rochester High Street, and he showed me a nice video that he'd taken of an elderly couple together. There was an elderly couple walking down the high street together. My ex-husband panned me for leaving him. I left my husband because I was suffering domestic violence, no other reason, and I don't see why a woman, man or anybody else should suffer being mentally and physically abused. So yes, I would have liked my marriage to have lasted till I was 70, 80, however long we live for, but I am not putting up with domestic violence and mental and emotional abuse. So I left my husband. I did the right thing. I don't regret it. But he should forgive, forget, and let me find somebody else to settle down with and move on, because I've moved on and I don't go back to someone that's given me mental and physical abuse. And it's as simple as that. So I felt a bit upset when I was shown an elderly couple together, because if I hadn't have suffered domestic and mental and physical abuse, etc., from my ex-husband, maybe we would have had a long marriage together. It lasted 18 years, which is very, very good in my opinion, but I am not going to be in a relationship where someone is mentally and physically abusing me. So I sat in Costa's for about an hour with my son. I bought him a coffee and me a coffee and a tuna melt, and it came to £11.50. So I was in Costa Coffee with my son yesterday, and I bought things. He buys, we share. So he'll buy a round and I'll buy a round. Not drinks, coffee, not alcohol. So there you are, a receipt where I was in Costa's yesterday. I spent £11.20 on a coffee for me, and we shared a tuna melt. A big roll. See? I was in Costa's twice yesterday, wearing the same army outfit. He didn't stay long. It's freezing cold. He wanted to get back off to London, and I was cold as well. It was cold outside last night, freezing. And the match between England and France was on. And I watched that. My son rang me when I was in the flat when he'd got back to London from Sainsbury's. He said he was buying popcorn in Sainsbury's, London, and reminded me to watch the England match in the evening. So I did, and I was disappointed. I don't think England were playing as well as they could, and I also thought the French team were very physical. It was like they were, pushing England over, because England won on a penalty because there was a foul, and it was a nasty foul that one of the England guys was shoved. I thought France were being a bit brutal. When the camera pans out to the British fans, some of them had their ho, ho, ho Christmas hats on, didn't they? With the ho, ho, ho showing. And, I watched that match, very disappointed. I think England could have done much better, but I thought the French team were being brutal to England and getting away with it, honestly. but had there not been a foul, would England have scored a goal? Who knows? They weren't playing their best. I don't really watch football. It's just my son rang me up and he reminded me, and my other son sent me a message. England's coming home. And that's why I watch the football. As for popcorn, I've got popcorn myself. I was sat down watching the football by myself in my flat. I'm somebody's mum, and I was like watching the football by myself. I wasn't with a group of lads because I'm a mother. I'm 54. I wasn't with any family on the balcony, and there wasn't a celebration because England lost. Fortunately, it's been a quiet weekend. There's been no noise from upstairs at all. He came in late at night. It sounded to me like he may have been drunk, and I heard heavy feet across the ceiling. But there was no noise from kids. When I came in yesterday from Costa's to charge my son's phone, he said he needed his iPhone charging. Next door had left a bucket of like Lego outside her door and puzzles with the word trolls in, TROLLS. So I came back after seeing my son in Costa Coffee with a box of trolls staring at me. Trolls. All toys, you know. Puzzles, games and like Lego bricks outside her door. She was obviously cleaning and hoovering her flat for Christmas and was leaving all the contents of her flat outside on the doorstep. Remember, my mum had said, "Have a good day, Ginestra," to me several times yesterday. When I went back up to my son after charging the phone, there was a van parked on near the travel lodge with YUK, yuck, as I was walking up to see my son in Costa Coffee for a coffee. Yuck, what? Not yak, YAK, yuck, YUK. So I was feeling really, really good yesterday evening, ecstatic and wonderful. I'm expecting a call from my lovely mum this morning to wish me a good Sunday, and I'm going to have chicken breasts or a beef curry for dinner. See you later.